welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about Raneka and Asonta. So first, I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I came across this post from Raneka, and she says, Asonta is on my mind real heavy today. My anxiety is super high and I have a lot of things to do. I need an assistant. I will pay you. You gotta be in Georgia or Louisville, Kentucky. You have to be very dependable and you have to be able to travel at any time I need you. You must have a laptop, not a laptop, a laptop, and be able to navigate social media as well. DM me and I will send you duty. I'm curious what exactly she's trying to hire for. It sounds like she's trying to get like a social media manager or someone to post for her. And I don't know how lucrative that would be, but then y'all need a job. Raneka is hiring. Like, Heather, are you listening? So now let's talk about these two in this last episode. So Asonta, he didn't even make it a full 9 hours out of prison before he was already sneaking off to go hang with another female. So Raneka, she wakes up and she thinks the dude's still there. She's talking to the camera crew. She's bragging about how they slept together like 3 or 4 times. So afterwards, Raneka ended up passing out. And then at 5:30 in the morning, Asonta dipped, and he dipped out with his hood up, his hoodie on. He looked like he was about to go rob somebody, or he was about to go show up at a Jocelyn's cabaret reunion and throw some hands. So the next morning, Raneka don't even wake up till almost 1 in the afternoon. And she don't even got the energy to put no clothes on. She's just wrapped up in a sheet, walking around the house, yelling for Asonta. She's walking around in the driveway, yelling for Asonta. And she didn't realize that Asonta was gone when she first woke up. But she said she did have a text message from him saying that he had a new number, which is a dead giveaway that he's with the other girlfriend, because he said the auntie, aka his other girlfriend, is the one who had his new phone. So she's sitting there and blowing up Asonta all day long, leaving voicemail after voicemail. So she ends up calling up her best friend, and she's telling her exactly what happened. And her best friend was telling her like it is. She's like, you moved all the way to Atlanta for a freaking Where's Waldo situation. And that's why you can't just like get up and move and bring your kids to a whole other state without even knowing someone. She should have given it a trial run first. She's already admitted that she's staying in an Airbnb that the show got her. So she could have just went and stayed in an Airbnb for a few weeks, or a hotel room, however she had to do it. And she could have gave it a test run first. And she would have effed around and found out the very first day, like she found out this way, that he ain't for her. He's for everybody. And now Raneka done up and moved and committed to something long term just to find out that she's a side chick. So Raneka ends up calling up her best friend, and she's asking her if her friend can babysit the kids for her so she can run around town trying to find Asonta. And then she's telling her friend about what Asonta did to her, and her friend said, well, you know, I know a PI and he can get some information, and we can even pull up on the aunties if you want. Please don't. I really hope they don't try doing that, because you just can't be pulling up on people's houses nowadays. That can become dangerous quick. And so the next day, Raneka's in her car. She's headed over to meet up with the PI. She calls up her daughters and she's asking them, hey, you got your schoolwork done? And her daughters were like, yeah, but what are you doing, Mom? And she explains what's going on. She's chasing Asonta around town. And her daughters told her straight up, Mom, you need to come home. You need to stop this. You need to come home. And I got a feeling we're not going to see much of Raneka's daughters this season, because I'm sure this is going to be a common theme, her chasing Asonta all season. And I'm sorry, but if the man is already cheating on me day 1 of being out, I'm packing my bags and leaving. I ain't about to hire a PI and do the absolute most for what? Like, is she really thinking this relationship is worth saving after all this? He already figured out who he wants to be with, and he, you know, we know he was lying when he said, I want to be with Raneka forever. The man couldn't even make it with Raneka for 9 hours. I was looking at this clip. I can't remember where it was. I think it was on like Facebook or Twitter or something. And it was like a clip of Raneka, and somebody commented and said she should have hired a PI before she decided to move to another state with her kids. And I think that is some real truth right there. You gotta do your research nowadays, especially when it involves your kids as well. And Raneka even admitted, oh, I kind of had a feeling that he was cheating on me before he even got out. But she just decided to ignore it and look the other way instead of addressing it and doing anything about it. So Raneka pulls up to meet up with her best friend, and Raneka says that she's actually been texting with the auntie, aka the girlfriend, and she says that this girl claims that she's the one that gets him off, and she's been with Asonta for over 2 years. So Asonta was with this girl before Raneka even came in the picture. And here's the up close look at one of their text messages where Raneka is telling this girl Asonta is a whole fool out here. Ask him who picked him up and who the F house he was at when he came to you. I'm the one that left him there. And that's what I'm a little confused, because someone in a Facebook group pointed that out where she said I'm the one that left him there. Does she mean like she's kind of calling herself a Lyft driver when she brought him home from prison, or is she saying that the car that picked him up, she ordered a Lyft? But I don't know. So then she said probably putting his dirty, package and every other girl that he's dealing with. I was the first, and then it cuts off from there. And then the auntie says that she ended up sending Raneka $1,100. So Raneka only ended up paying $1,900 to the $3,000 bail, and she had no idea that she was sending money to Asonta's other girlfriend. And Raneka kept calling the auntie dumb as hell, but the auntie probably didn't pick up and move from a completely different state with her kids. She's probably staying in the same house she was at before he got out of prison, and she didn't have to pay nowhere near as much money as Raneka. She only had to pay $1,100, and Raneka had to pay $1,900, and she had to sit outside literally for over 12 hours and wait for him and deal with all the tedious stuff that comes along with waiting for a prisoner to get out of jail and having to bond them out and run to the local Walmart to get a money order. So who's really the dumb one here? I mean, they're both dumb at this point because they both know about each other and they're still continuing to mess with the dude. At least Raneka is trying to figure out and get to the bottom of things, and she's holding on to hope. And so Raneka is sitting there with her best friend. The PI finally shows up, and I thought the private investigator was about to spill all the tea, but he really didn't have much information to give. He had Asonta's older phone number, but that doesn't really help them. So Raneka was able to give the PI the auntie, or aka the other girlfriend's phone number, and the PI was able to find out that she's a 44-year-old female, which, I kind of assumed that she was a little older than Raneka. Even though they disguised her voice when she talked, I could tell with her word choice and the way she talked that she's a little bit older. So that's definitely not the girl that he was with before he passed away, because the girl that he was dating that was 5 months pregnant with his son, she was like in her late 20s, early 30s. So obviously this is not the same girl. So Raneka ended up going through her phone after Asonta ended up dipping out on her in the middle of the night, and she found text messages in her phone that Asonta was sending to the other girl, and the other girl had sent her address. And Asonta is pretty dumb for this, because he should have at least deleted the text messages, or at least delete the address, especially if that's the place you're going and you're sneaking off to with another girl. So Raneka found those receipts. She showed the PI. He was able to Google the address and find out that they were staying at an extended stay hotel. So they were talking about pulling up, and I hope to God they don't pull up. But then Raneka was like, hey, how about you just call the hotel and we talk to the auntie, which I don't know why they're still calling her the auntie, because we know damn well that's his other boo. That's probably the main chick, or at least the sugar mama. I think she's probably the sugar mama, more like it. We cannot say Raneka's family did not try to warn her, though. She should have listened to her family, because they knew from the very beginning. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. You can use my code AMBER and get free shipping on all orders over $35. And so check that out if you're interested. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.